And good afternoon, everybody. It's 98.1 FM and on AM 1220 KHTS. You're listening to Common Ground. It's 108, 84 degrees outside. And before we get into our Common Ground show, we want to turn it over to Patty. He's got some information.
Breaking news.
Breaking news indeed. Hi, everybody. Just a real quick, there is a little brush fire out in Santa Clarita. It is actually at Sierra Highway and Skyline Ranch. It is about 2.5 acres. And we got that going for us. So for more information regarding that, please check us out at hometownstation.com or check us out on Facebook at KHTS Radio. We're providing updates as we go. And that's about it.
That was really professional.
Thank you.
Yeah. It
Wow.
Sound like you've done that before, Patty.
Maybe.
I don't think he needs you guys.
Maybe I've been. I
don't
might have
think
been
so.
practicing in my in my room a little bit. Who knows?
That's really nice. Jason,
Yes, sir.
my God. So this is like the
It's great to
second
see
week in a
you.
row that I've introduced this show, and then I turn and look, and you're right there.
It's weird still, right?
It is weird because I'm so used to, well, never mind.
I was thinking about that on the way over. I have only been late to one show ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Before I
Before
came
you
in?
ever came, that was the only time I have ever been late to a show, ever.
Wow.
And I appreciate you bringing it up each time, each week that we do the show.
Well-
It's like, a nice paper cut.
Yeah, no,
and
you're-
you pouring lemon juice on the paper cut.
Well,
Each
shucks.
week, it's warm and fuzzy.
Oh,
It's a
you're
warm and
welcome.
fuzzy feeling.
It's okay.
Anyway, welcome to Common Ground. I'm Jason Downs. I'm here with Bobby Marqueso, and of course, our very own ray of sunshine, Patty Sweek behind the board. This is where we can all agree on the important stuff, like the fact that no child should be experiencing homelessness anywhere, but especially not here in Santa Clarita, where we have so much beauty and so much bounty. We'll be talking with a social worker from the Hart School District about that in just a moment, as well as special guest Mr. Glenn Terry. We also like to spread love and kindness, right? That's what we're about
I
here,
mean, mostly. Yeah. Depends on the day.
right? Yeah, and speaking of Bobby, I know it's great to have you back in the studio after a very serious incident last week involving a camel and a kazoo.
I could just tell you it was not pretty. But every time he walked, it just, so yeah.
That's what I heard.
So now we have to completely rearrange the act. And now I'm just going to have him trot around in a circle and see if we can't get "You Are My Sunshine."
Okay.
So it's.
You
that's-
can at
thank
least
you.
accompany. Like he can accompany you on. You can sing along.
Yeah.
Is that the goal?
If
Yeah.
I trot along,
Okay.
yeah. So but thanks.
Kazoo is a really interesting word. I love that word exists.
Do you?
Kazoo, Kazoo. I just thought I would put that out there.
Okay.
Today is May 3rd, by the way.
All
and
day.
I'm so glad that you've joined us here on Common Ground. Here's to a great show, a great day, a great week for all of us. Our show is sponsored by Denny & Company, LLP, certified public accountants. They make your life less taxing at dennyllp.com. And the law offices of Lou Espin. When experience counts, count on experience at espinlaw.com. We also have been asked to say that last week Santa Clarita resident Michelle Dorsey was murdered.
Ooh.
Tragically. She left behind 3 beautiful boys, ages 9, 11, and 13. They're being adopted by Michelle's sister, Castaic resident Jessica Jordan, who has 3 very young children of her own already. KHTS and the Santa Clarita Coalition are assisting by raising money to purchase a Suburban, vehicle large enough for Jessica to transport her now 6 children to and from school and other activities. So if you can assist, please visit santaclaritacoalition.org. That's santaclaritacoalition.org, and we thank you for your support.
Holy smokes.
Here's a question for you. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life,
Tacos.
interesting, that was the number 2 choice.
Uh-huh.
Tacos.
Yeah.
What about you, Patty? One food the rest of your life.
Spaghetti. Absolutely pasta.
Spaghetti?
Yeah.
I mean, my concern for you guys is that you can't really live on that for the rest of your life.
I mean,
Watch me.
yeah, I agree. Watch me.
Challenge.
Accepted.
It's either tacos or hamburgers for me. I could have hamburgers all the time.
Where are your veggies coming from?
It's a veggie burger.
Oh. Uh, So the veggies
are in the burger.
okay, they're in the burger.
Well, I mean, you put me on the spot. There's no veggies in burgers. Are you kidding me? It's meat.
But how are you going to live for the rest of your life?
On burgers. I was very
I
clear
didn't ask what
about
your
this.
favorite food was.
Oh.
I asked if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life.
Well, it's the same thing. You didn't say if you could only eat one food that kept you alive,
All
what
right,
would it be?
Okay, speaking salad was number 16 on the list.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like you could salad covers a lot of things. You could put hamburger meat on there.
Good God, man, who does that?
I'm just saying, if you had to have one meal for the rest of your life, why not salad? You would at least be well nourished, and you could put chicken on it sometimes. You could put a little Tex-Mex. You could put a little hamburger meat. No.
Well, I'm getting to like the M&Ms and stuff. I mean, when does that go on there? It's not.
Okay,
Tell you about toppings because I don't think he gave you an option for toppings.
You
when
didn't know
said
topping
tacos.
option?
That's my question too. Is are you saying taco with no topping, just like cheese and meat? No greens at all. No salad.
What?
Little tomato.
Why are you veggie shaming me right now, dude?
I don't know. I figured you.
I feel the heat. You're like bringing the heat.
Glenn, what would your one meal the rest of your life?
Now that I've been prepped, I guess fish, but I just have to survive
Okay.
on seafood. And
Where are
fish.
the veggies?
Yeah. Well,
Seaweed.
Kelp.
kelp.
I mean, one of the most popular answer was pizza. So there again,
Ooh.
you could put vegetables on a pizza.
I could change to pizza. That's got everything, right?
Yeah.
Dairy, meat, bread products,
yeah.
veggies.
I'm just trying to look out for you. That's all I'm saying here. I'm just trying to look out for you.
Okay, I could do that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Let's introduce our first guest. Very, very honored to have Elizabeth Orozco with us today. And here are some of her titles. Here goes. Elizabeth Orozco, MSW, ACSW, PPSC, CWA.
Wow.
Elizabeth,
Well,
will
half the show's over now.
will you please translate all of your degrees and accomplishments?
Yes. So the MSW means that I have a master's in social work.
Okay.
And then the ACSW means that I'm an associated clinical social worker, which means that I'm registered with the Board of Behavioral Sciences in the state of California. And I finished collecting hours and I'm waiting to take my test to become a licensed clinical social worker.
Gotcha.
Now, the PPSC and the CWA are credentials that I guess my district requires to become a certificated school social worker, which means that the PPSC specifically, the lens that they give you to be a school social worker at a school. And then the CWA just means that I'm also able to focus on child welfare and attendance.
Wow.
Goodness
okay.
sakes.
And you are currently a social worker for the William S. Hart School District right here for Plaza Rita Junior High and Hart High School here in Newhall.
WHSD.
correct.
That's another one. We can.
There you go. cheeky. That's why he gets paid. I warned you, Elizabeth, didn't I? Okay. So you actually started your career here at Hart in 2016 as an intern, and then you graduated receiving your master's degree in social work, as you just mentioned, from California State University, Northridge, and then you joined the student services team there full time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've been doing this for 14 years, lots of experience. And I came to meet you through the Rotary because we were looking for students that needed some help, and found you, thankfully, and your colleague, Anna. And you guys directed us toward a couple families that we could help out, some students that were in need. And that was a wonderful thing. But what I learned that was so shocking was the number of students who are currently registered as homeless, which you can define in just a moment, in this district alone, in our district, in our school district. Could you tell us that number?
Yes. So back then when we last ran the numbers, when we met with you last month, there was 769 students just in the William S. Hart School District. And I know that number has grown. We just haven't run them for for this month, for the month of May. But I know that it's more now because since you and I met with Glenn, I've identified a couple other students just at my schools. So I am sure that my other colleagues have identified also other students at their schools.
That's crazy to me.
That's incredible,
That's
right?
bizarre.
Are
But-
you as shocked as I was?
Well, I mean, that's just
769.
a ridiculous number. But so, what is that? What is that definition of homeless when they're registered like that? What is it? What is that definition?
So what that means, it's inadequate housing. Sometimes it could be that the families are, doubled up, tripled up, or, there's a couple of families living in one household because they're not able to pay the rent. Or sometimes like another family rents a room to another family. Sometimes they're living like in back houses or garages that are not equipped to be rented or for someone to live in there. We've had families that have stayed in their vehicles. We also currently have families that are staying in motels, hotels, not just in Santa Clarita, but also like in the border, which is Del Mar, San Fernando, that, Van Nuys, Panorama City. And then they're still trying to make an effort to either keep their students to fully be online or to try to have them come to the campuses once or twice a week so that their students still get that experience of not missing out in school.
And what kind of effect have you found that this has on the students that you work with on a semi-daily basis?
It depends. There's so much stuff going on. Sometimes, like I've spoken to parents and students that don't have adequate housing and we flagged as experiencing homelessness. And when you talk to them and you're trying to get them to come to school, they'll say, going to school right now, it's not my priority. My priority right now is where am I going to live? What food? Like, am I going to have access to food? Things like that. And it's just overwhelming because especially if the parents are really struggling and the kids are hearing their parents struggle and trying to make those connections to find a place to live or, dealing with, different housing agencies and things like that. Sometimes kids hear that and it becomes very overwhelming and stressful for them to be able to concentrate and focus and come to school.
And one thing that you guys have done there, and we got the chance to meet a few of the members of your team, you have a family resource center at Placerita, a wellness center, a parent education center, yes, where people can come, they can get resources, physical resources like clothing and food, etc., as well as other services. So thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. Are you finding that that's helpful? Is there anything we can do as a community to, sort of help you out?
Yes, we have 3 resource centers in our district. One's located at Canyon High School, one's at Golden Valley, and then one's here at Placerita. But what we do is we work very closely with all the other school social workers in my district and also with the elementary school districts so that we're all able to be on the same page and support our students. What I will say is that if you are out there and you're a member of this community and you want to find a way to be able to help out the students in your community, I would say reach out to your local schools and see if they have a school social worker, connect with that person and then see what's needed in that specific school. Because every school is so different in terms of needs and in terms of the culture. So every school does have different needs. So if you want to be involved, just contact your local school and see if they can give you access to their school social worker and talk to them and see how you can become involved and what you can do to donate.
Now, you said that was these are registered homeless. I would assume there's still so many unidentified kids, right? Because pride and, like you said, sometimes culture comes into that and they don't want to say anything. And it's kind of up to the teachers and the social worker on site to maybe evaluate that or at least try to identify something like that.
Right. So in our district, we have a process called Student Nighttime Residency Questionnaire, which is this questionnaire that every district has a homeless liaison, and they receive clear orders from the state of California or from LACO as to what information we need to obtain from households so that we're able to determine that. And so every year We have every single student complete one, and then that's turned in to us. But also, as the year goes by, let's say, for example, that they were embarrassed to identify themselves as that they're experiencing, housing hardships or financial hardships, then throughout the year, with the help of our teachers or school staff, if they notice something, they're very good about bringing it up to us. And then we are the ones that make those phone calls. We have those conversations, not just with the parents, but also with the students. And then we let them know who we are and how we can help. And we let them know that it's confidential. So that's why we don't ever share names. We always, when we ask for donations for a specific family, we just, talk very surface, just so that we're able to protect our families and our students and maintain that confidentiality, still trying to get the resources that they need.
Hey, Elizabeth, I'd like to see if you can point out the staffing that you have on your social workers. I mean, the ratio to what you have to deal with. And I kind of wanted to point out also that you guys are really the heroes on the front lines of helping the schools and everything. But I know that you're shorthanded, and a lot of these tasks are kind of thrown onto you guys with not just homelessness, but there's quite a bit of other areas that you guys focus on in helping students. So just wanted to see if you can share a little bit on that.
Yes, so we not only work with the families experiencing homelessness, we work with probation, we work with foster youth. We work with so many different groups of students. And mainly when we focus on attendance and, we are like an extension of the school, because us as social workers, we're able to go out in the community, make connections, do all these home visits, and really go into how families are living. What does their home life look like? And then come back to the school teams and then be able to develop a plan for every student that we're working with. So I know that for a while, it was only 5 of us serving the entire district. And
Wow.
then our team has been growing. So then this year, back in November, we added 2 more team members. And then now we've added 3 more team members. So for right now, we have a total of 10 social workers in the Hart District, which is really nice. But still, there
For
was a point that
769 kids.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
yeah, it's a lot of kids. So I know that there was a period of time that we had 3, 4, 5 schools per 1 social worker.
Wow.
And then now more recently, 1 social worker for 2 schools. And so the dream of our department and the vision is that each school obtains their own school social worker, which I want to make sure that we give credit to the Hart District, because they've seen the amount of work that we have been able to do with students in our district, and they see the need for more social workers. And I know that they're working very hard to find the funds to be able to hire more of us, because, we have the clinical hat. Sometimes we go out and do these home visits, and we've had to assess for suicide ideation, not just students, but sometimes parents, because they're so overwhelmed with everything that's going on in their life. And, people with my qualifications were able to do that and provide them with the resources and the supports that they need.
Yeah. So Elizabeth, I was kind of pointing out too that I think a lot of times people are misunderstanding what social workers do. There's this feeling of like you're going to be taking my child away, or there's something wrong. It's like a negative connotating way that we think of social workers. But you guys are really the front line, the folks that are really giving all these services, these outlets to so many of these kids. And we're just talking about 1 district right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4
Wow.
districts in our area, so
Yeah.
it's quite a bit.
So how do we start to dispel that the connotation that Glenn was referring to? Because you're kind of the real lifeline for these people, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, the
even
students, especially.
Yeah, for the students, because even last year when all the schools were closed down because of COVID, so us, the social workers from my district, we were pretty much the only ones going out there and doing wellness checks, making sure that kids that were not showing up to classes and things like that online or submitting work, that we were able to see where they're at. But I think also there's a difference, because there's different type of social workers, DCFS case workers, which a lot of people confuse us with them sometimes.
Oh.
And we've had to explain and say, hey, I'm not a DCFS social worker, the Department of Children and Family Services. I work for the school district. My services are different, and just letting them know, yeah, if there's a reason for me to file a report with the Department of Children and Family Services because the child is not safe or they're in danger, then by law I have to do that. But other than that, if you need basic services or referrals or resources, then please communicate with the school. Let me know, because we are here to help you have your child be okay and safe and at least meet their most basic needs.
We're going to
So
take a
it's just
quick
about educating people.
Absolutely, and that's why you're here, and that's why we're happy to shout this message. We're going to take a quick break, so stay with us for one more moment, Elizabeth. When we come back, we're going to talk about one specific family that is in need this very moment. So stay with us here on Common Ground, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
This is Jill from the Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to our 4,655 families in the SCB community. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website at santaclaritagrocery.org or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
If you'd like to take your business up a notch, take a look at Elite Magazine.
Linda and Mo Hafizi, owners of our Valley's two leading magazines, the Magazine of Santa Clarita and Elite.
I'm so proud of Elite. It allows your advertisement to stand out. We distribute Elite to 50,000 homes and businesses. You'll find us in 1,900 local hotel rooms.
Discover how Elite Magazine can help your business. Call 294-4444.
Superior quality is second nature to us. Just ask our advertisers.
98.1 FM and AM 1220. I'm Dana Lash. Join me Monday through Friday from 9 to noon as we tackle the issues of the day and talk about all the people in government that we don't like. The fun begins at 9 on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to santaclaritahearingcenter.com. Located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's santaclaritahearingcenter.com.
Hometown.
Traffic report, simple news, weather, and lots of music.
They pretty much play everything. Your hometown station.
And welcome back, everybody. 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS with Common Grounds and Jason Downs and myself, Bobby Marqueso. And back by popular demand, Patty has an update on the small brush fire that we had over in Santa Clarita.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Hey, guys, it's Patty with KHTS again. Just real quick little update. That fire at Skyline and Sierra Highway, dubbed Skyline Fire, has been stopped. That is right. Forward progress has been stopped at about 1.5 acres. And
nice.
Has been stopped.
You did that really well. You should do more of that.
I agree. They should.
I feel like
you know what?
They should train him.
I'm going to talk to the owners.
They should train him. You're right.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm going to mention something to the owners.
We'll
and
say
I think
something. We have lots of pull with
Yes.
the owners. We're going to tell them about
we're
you,
gonna do
buddy.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
All right,
You're making me blush.
Can we take it back, or do you still need it?
And without further ado, back to you, Barbara Marqueso.
Yeah, thanks. So,
No, back to Elizabeth Orozco.
Exactly.
Thank you. We have our guest, Elizabeth Orozco, on the line. And do I need to apologize, Elizabeth, for all these shenanigans?
No, You guys are a fun time. I'm just listening to your jokes.
So she is a fantastic social worker right here in the Hart School District, and she has been helping our kids. We have currently 769 kids in the Hart District alone who are registered as experiencing some type of homelessness. We have one family in particular that Elizabeth would like to tell us about, and we're kind of putting the word out. Anyone who wants to chip in, 10, 20 bucks for some food cards, etc. What do you think, Elizabeth? This has to do with a gentleman who passed away, yes, due to COVID complications in February, leaving behind his wife and daughter. Daughter is attending Hart High School. She's 14.
Yes.
Her mother is diabetic and has some trouble working, although she is, to support she and her daughter. But any help is appreciated. So how should folks reach out? Should they reach out to you directly, or to the school, and ask for you?
They can reach because my office is located at Plaza Rita Junior High. But is it okay if I leave my work number so that people know how to get a hold of me?
Yes, please.
If they want to help out this family. So my phone number is area code 661-505-8743. Again, my number is area code 661-505-8743. And I just want to say that this mom is such a hard worker, even though she's been faced with a lot of trauma since even before her husband died, and specifically now because she's the sole provider for her and her daughter, and they are experiencing homelessness. They're renting a room from a friend, and she's losing her eyesight from her right eye, and she sews for a living. So it's been really difficult because we've tried connecting her with different programs that can help out with housing or probably even rent money, because that's what she's having a difficult time right now, being able to afford the rent for the room she's renting with her daughter. And they basically said to her and to us that she has to be out homeless, like with no place to live, in order for her to be able to qualify for a program. So I just really want to bring awareness to prevention. How about instead of, waiting to help our families until they're out on the street, why can't we develop more programs that more people qualify for prevention?
Yes.
So that we can allow these families to stay in their current place where they live. And it's just been a really heartbreaking story.
And let's think about this young woman, this 14-year-old young woman,
Exactly.
right? Let's think about her. She's going through the trauma of losing her father a couple of months ago, and now this financial stress on her mother that I'm sure she's feeling. This young woman, she's a golfer. She likes to listen to BTS, which is a great Korean boy band, and she's a great student. So please give us that number again for folks to reach out to you.
Yes, my phone number again, it's area code 661-505-8743.
All right, Elizabeth, we thank you so much for the great work that you're doing for our kids in this community. As you said, we need more social workers like you. So please, if you're considering a great career that benefits society as well as yourself, then look into this. Use the number to call her about that too. We encourage parents to communicate with people like Elizabeth, the social workers at their kids' schools, if they are, as she just pointed out, about to experience homelessness, especially, so that we can stay on the preventative side. Anyhow, thank you so much, Elizabeth, and we wish you a wonderful day, and we'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for the opportunity to have me speak in your show.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Bye, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So that means...
Oh, goodness. What?
It's Glenn Terry time.
Who?
It's Glenn Terry time.
I'm not sure. Oh, this guy next to me?
You didn't notice the life-size teddy bear sitting in between us, Bobby? For those of you
I thought he
looking
was
at
part
home.
of the furniture. I didn't know.
I was
like,
out.
when did he
I'm moving
come
the
in?
furniture.
That's what I thought. Like, how come one of the workers is inside of our booth?
You are the brute squad.
Yeah.
You know what movie that's from?
Yeah.
You are the Brute Squad.
Yeah, nice. Have fun storming the castle. Yeah, very good.
The Princess Bride? Come on. You know that one?
I do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Why didn't you speak up?
Well,
So Glenn
let you
is.
play the role.
So tell us about.
Want a peanut? right.
Tell us about Glenn.
Glenn is the current president of the Santa Clarita Valley Rotary Club.
Wow.
Well, say that one more time. That
The
was
Santa Clarita Valley Rotary Club.
Was that right?
sounded good to me.
That's great.
And he is also a commercial insurance expert with LBW Insurance right here in town. And despite all the challenges, it's been a pretty remarkable year, I'd say, for this guy. He's as fine a man as you'll ever meet, I would say.
Did you read that?
For a white guy.
He looked down at his paper. Did you see that before he said something?
I saw
and
that.
he is, hang on, fine.
Hold on.
He
Let me
says,
make sure I got
great
this
man
right.
guy.
You would want.
No, he's a wonderful father. He's a wonderful father, and he's a great friend.
You're
And I
still
can say this
reading.
from personal.
He is reading.
I am not. I'm totally not reading. I'm reading what I thought to myself earlier and wrote down on this piece of paper.
So you're doing two things at the same time.
This is why I said I needed to come in the radio station, because I don't think he knows really who I am.
He may not.
I don't know.
So let me ask you, Glenn, who are you?
Well, what I am is actually someone that's going to hopefully deliver some really great news on what we're going to try to do the last Monday of the month.
That's right.
It's the reason why I'm here.
That's right. On the last Monday of every month, we're going to have a special hour with Glenn Terry. We're calling it Glenn Terry Time on Common Ground. And, so, talk about what a great guy he is. That's all we're going to do. Just what a fine
If
man
you could
he
write
is.
that down for me ahead of time, that would be great.
So you can,
So I can
remember
read
it
it,
just in
yeah.
case. But no, we're going to be talking about parenting and relationships and daily life. And one of your children has a disability, and so you have a lot of unique knowledge and
Perspective on
experience.
stuff. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There's going to be a lot of perspective. I think Patty put it together. This is going to be a spaghetti, a bowl of meatballs and noodles, and it's going to be fun. So I think
Let's
we're going to really
go.
talk about a lot of mishaps as a parent, and a lot of and hopefully I'm sure you guys will throw in some of your own examples in there. So
Yeah, what if we don't have any
well, then I don't know. I'm stumped.
as a parent?
If you don't have any children?
Yeah, exactly.
there you
That's
go.
the only way you would not have any mishaps.
That is the only
And
way.
even then, if you're an aunt or an uncle, it's still.
But we all have two kids. All
We
three
all
of
do.
us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Something in
What
common.
disability
Something
does-
in common with common grounds.
There you go.
Oh my God! Don't
I'm sorry.
start.
Did I do that?
There's
Do
so
not
much,
start.
So much common ground we have going on.
What disability does your child have?
He has what's called Sturge-Weber syndrome. So it's with side effects of seizures. So he has seizures since junior high, 7th grade. He's a senior at Golden Valley High School, and but pretty well managed with medications and so forth. And after just the show, actually, I'm on the video conference with his epilepsy specialist. So we're trying to get all that arranged because he's going to be on his way off to college at Grand Canyon University.
Nice.
So just another challenge in life that we got to figure out how to manage that while
Yeah.
he's going through those things.
I can't imagine anything scarier and more helplessness that one can feel if your child is in a seizure. That would just freak me out.
It does. It catches you off guard, but I think as a parent, I think any one of us would do anything in our power to make sure they're protected in the best way we can. And I think it just comes natural. But I mean, it is scary. There was nothing more scary, and I think it was heart wrenching. Everything that goes with it. You can feel like it's just like that's just the end of the world for you when you see your child struggling through just those kinds of things.
What is the protocol when that begins to happen? What do you do?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, there are steps that one should take when you're anybody's having a seizure. So, not to dive so deep into just one area of the topic of what we're doing, but seizures are very unique and they're different in different ways. So there's some that are called focal seizures, which is how Brandon started off with. It was just a simple staring off into la la land, and I thought he was just a teenager, just like wake up.
I know.
dude,
How do you know? Right.
Like backhand? No, did I say that? I can't say
You didn't.
backhand.
No, we did.
Okay, no.
Patty, can you scrub that from the tape, please?
Already done.
Alrighty,
you.
good, thanks. So it's just those progressed into what is called a grand mal seizure.
Right.
Those are the scary ones. those are the ones you can't really do a whole lot. You just got to let them go through it. You do have to try to get them to a side, make sure that they're, it depends on where the area was at. I mean, I remember there was a camp area that we were at Piru, and I went to go use the restroom. They were in the tent area, the campsite area. I told my daughter to keep an eye on Brandon. Wasn't that he was having seizures very often. And I come walking back from the restroom, and Brandon's not there. I'm like, where's he at? Where did Brandon go? And so she's like, oh, he went to the restroom. I'm like, I was at the restroom. He's not there. So I started, of course, instant parent mode, freaking out.
Right.
And so I found him, but he was veered off further down the campsite with about half of his body covered in leaves and dirt and just all sorts of stuff. And he broke his collarbone. He fell. And he had a seizure at that moment. And found his way halfway of the figuring out where the campsite was. And, but that was, I want to say, about 4 or 5 years ago. So it was a while back.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
So what gave you inspiration for wanting to like have a radio show, or I guess a spot?
Yeah.
On the.
Well, part of it is actually inspired by just because of the things that, my son, with all the stuff going on with him, with the medical stuff as a parent. I, for a long time, single parenting sometimes, most of the time it feels like, but, for the most part, it's, I feel like we learn from others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of felt like the radio or building on some sort of podcasts and things that I've gathered in my own knowledge to create a way of learning from each other, but also teaching others. Yeah. And so the radio, I thought Jason brought it up, and we talked about doing this as a way to get back out to the community. And then it kind of segues me into other areas that I'm very heavily into, the nonprofits. And, we were just talking to Elizabeth just a short while ago about the schools and the districts. And I personally remember that very clearly with my own kids when I was going through my divorce, and times were struggling, times were tough, and I remember a care package show up at my doorstep, and I don't think I had, there was no way to hold back tears.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was like the first time in my life that I felt like, wow, I actually needed that help, or that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And that came from the school where Brandon was going to, and so that, again, it's just about how I'm giving back and how I'm building on it. And the other is insurance. I do that full time. And so I'm trying to build up, I guess, where you call it, Glenn Terry. I want people to know who I am and what I do in the community. And
because you're not busy enough,
no,
apparently.
I got to fill it with more.
Yeah.
More.
I'm telling you, this guy. He gives and gives and gives. I'm telling you. I think it's going to be a great program, and I'm excited to sort of embark on this journey with you and get that ball rolling, because I think you do have a lot to offer. You've already offered a great deal, not just for your kids, but as president of the Rotary and your continued support in this neighborhood, through all the work that you do. I mean, we could go on and on about that. Let's save it for the show. The show. But just curious, did your kids know that you were going through sort of the brink of homelessness there for a while? Were they aware? Were you able to protect them from that? And again, we can go into more depth at the end of the month, but
yeah, no, it's okay. So you try to shade or shadow that. You try to keep that under cover as much as you can. I think you said it earlier. Sometimes you just don't come out. Like, you just have this feeling of like you don't want to be known for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of go back in the closet or the shadows, and I don't want to talk about it. It's just not me. I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah, right.
And so so I didn't share that much with my kids about it, and it was just more about just getting help from family and try to figure out where to live and where to put the kids and make sure they're going to school and make sure, I'm still working, building my business and doing what I needed to do during that time. And
I mean, I think I would do the same thing, though. You know, like you don't need to put that stress on them.
No.
If not need be. But I think, and at the same time, it almost seems, the opposite of that is I totally believe in open communication about everything, but at the same time, there's just certain things I think, it's like if this isn't a place where we just have to know, we'll get through this. And then
I guess that was more, because kids are smart too.
They are.
And they pick up on things. And so I guess that's kind of what I was wondering too. Like, were they sort of traumatized in the periphery of all
see
that.
see if you can read that little note.
Dear Tooth Fairy, we are struggling, so can you give me a couple bucks?
So that let you know.
So that was a note my daughter left under her pillow when she lost her tooth.
Yeah.
And
that's how you knew she knew.
And it was just like, ouch.
Yeah.
I was, where did this come from? And
right.
So it trickled in over time, but I carry that little note in my little wallet as a kind of a reminder of kind of where you've been and make sure you don't. And I think Elizabeth pointed out prevention. That's something that's big about what I've learned is prevention. So part of the radio, the hour that I'm going to talk on is strategy, about how to prevent oneself from going into homelessness. Mm-hmm. Using key points like parenting and relationships and financials and just daily life stuff. And I want to add also some Zen. You got to take a break from it all.
Absolutely.
That's one of the areas that we forget.
Zen.
Balance.
A load of crap.
Balance.
Yeah. It depends if you're... I don't know. Is the crap is good, but it's Zenning could be even when you're doing that. So, better than that.
So we're gonna take a break and say farewell to Glenn until the end of the month for now. But if you ever wanted to crack open the mind of a man and take a look inside, here's your chance. Glenn Terry time on Common Ground last Monday of every month. And I think that phrase you mentioned to me earlier about sums it up. More nuts than bolts. I like that.
More nuts than bolts.
More nuts than bolts.
We're a little nutty once in a while.
How come when you said that you looked at me? Is that just a natural thing, or
he did catch that, didn't he?
I think we're all a little
nutty.
Nuts. Wow.
All right, stay with us right here on Common Ground, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Celebrate the new year with the Canyon Theater Guild's new spring online youth workshops. Express yourself from the comfort of your own home with super fun classes like improv, script writing, audition techniques, and 2 brand new shows specifically designed for online performances. No borders, no experience necessary, and no end to the fun. Call 661-799-2702 or visit us at canyontheater.org.
Time for a car wash, but fearful of the scratches that go along with it? Canny Car Wash and Valencia Car Wash proudly use 100% lamb's cloth to prevent scratches and provide the best wash possible. Both locations use environmentally friendly solutions to wash and wax your vehicle, and they both accept all other car wash coupons. Give your vehicle the wash it deserves. Visit Canny Car Wash on Soledad across from Edwards Cinema, or Valencia Car Wash on Creekside Road behind Target.
Sweet, salty, tastiest, bacon and pancakiest, big yawns are okay, yummy syrups, yes way, butter pecan, blueberry, old-fashioned strawberry, never empty coffee pot. Mom says it hits the spot, almonds are the fluffiest, Dad's hugs the scruffiest, scrambled eggy, pepper shaky, orange juicy, wide awake, stuffed French toastiest, waffles with the mustiest, buttermilky, smooth, silky, tastes great, love on a plate.
IHOP, everything you love about breakfast.
Denny & Company, LLP, helps small to medium-sized businesses with their tax and accounting needs. With over 55 years of public accounting experience among them, Denny & Company's partners are familiar with a large number of business types, tax situations, and business consulting needs ranging from individuals, families, trusts and estates, corporations, partnerships, and limited liability companies in many different industries and professions. The partners and staff of Denny & Company, LLP are always friendly, helpful, responsive, and are experienced in representing individuals and businesses like yours with all kinds of government agencies, banks, attorneys, and more. They are your hometown CPA firm. Why go all the way to Century City or Encino to pay top dollar for the same level of services you can get right here in Santa Clarita? Denny & Company, LLP. CPAs that make life less taxing. Call 286-8860. Call 286-8860.
I listen to it all day, every day.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome back, everyone. Okay, listen, I opened the show. Stop when we come back after a break, pointing to Jason.
It's a force of habit. It's always been Jason until you got here. I'm sorry. It's a force of habit.
98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS with Jason and me and whoever and Common Ground. And
I
then
think
we
you
have
should probably put Patty above.
Oh, Patty.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just say stuff after the break, I guess.
Because the owners, they're really
Oh my
they
goodness.
love Patty.
He is on the fast track.
He is.
Stop.
That's really great. Good for you,
Yeah,
Patty.
you
So
should.
happy. So happy for you.
All right, so who knows what a palindrome is?
I know what it is. I forgot, though.
It's a word, a phrase, a verse, or a sentence that reads the same backward as it does.
Oh,
forward.
right, Bob.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
my
Bob.
name. Yeah.
There you go. You are a palindrome.
Thank you.
And a paradox.
Well.
and
Thank you. God.
And a parasite, according to Patty, because
Wait,
you're just trying to leach off his.
I am.
I never said those
Just
words.
riding his coattails.
I'm just going to keep pointing at Jason. Maybe he'll get the hint.
So, all right. I always thought of a palindrome as a word, right? Race car reads the same forward and back,
Right.
right? I found you're gonna love this.
I never knew that. Race car?
race car. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to try it out? Try it.
I'm doing it in my head.
Give him a pencil.
No, I'm doing
and
it in
write
my
it-
head. Car race.
Race car.
Race. Cool.
Race car.
Yeah,
Cool,
I got it.
yeah, right?
Okay.
So I came across this. I love this. I mean, I love words, as you know. And so instead of doing the artist almanac and watching you roll your eyes, we're going to play with words this way, right?
Okay.
So listen to this. Naomi, sex at noon, taxes, I moan.
Okay.
That is
what?
That is.
Yeah, he's
a
lost me.
palindrome.
He lost me
That
too.
whole thing is a palindrome. Can you believe that? This
Okay.
is one too. Never odd or even. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Wow.
That's a palindrome. Can you believe that? A man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Go back to the first one.
They said that it has to make sense. Like, it doesn't count if it doesn't make sense.
The first one did not make sense to me.
Okay, well, you have to see the punctuation too, I guess, because apparently you're allowed to put punctuation in there.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one was Naomi, comma,
Right.
sex at noon, taxes, period. I moan.
Sex at noon, taxes.
Yeah, it's taxing.
If you do it right, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah, like
Oh.
no, not like accounting. No, like it's taxing. Like
Oh.
it's exhausting.
Energy.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
For some.
All right, how about this one? Madam, I'm Adam.
Who thinks of these things?
I don't know.
Who sits in their room and says, Naomi, no, this Karen.
Speaking of
no,
that doesn't work.
Naomi, that's it. Okay.
Speaking of sitting, sit on a potato pan, Otis.
I'll go sit on a potato pan.
Otis. It's not a palindrome unless you put the Otis
I
on
didn't
there.
mean for it to be. I like that as a new insult.
Sit on a potato pan.
Otis.
Or you could just settle for sit on Otis. That's also a palindrome.
Can we go back to Artist Almanac?
Okay, you want to?
No.
Dr. Awkward. That's a palindrome.
Dr. Awkward.
Dr. Awkward. Go hang a salami. I'm a lasagna hog. That's a palindrome.
These don't make sense. I am so befuddled right now, which is not a.
I'm so
not
glad.
a
That was my
palindrome.
objective. My objective is to come in here each week and befuddle you.
Go.
I thought the camel and the kazoo would do it, but it didn't.
Go.
It took a palindrome. He's trying.
Well, this is a family show.
Yeah,
I got a couple of palindromes. I bet you don't have written on your sheet there.
Finger is on your mic, like I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Patty's ready. Well,
Okay.
that's interesting. I think
This is the longest one.
Oh,
Let me
oh.
just do the longest
Oh.
one, and then I'll let you guys go.
Heaven.
Okay. I saw desserts semicolon. I'd no lemons, alas, no melon, period. Distressed was I. End of palindrome.
By Yoda.
By Yoda.
No lemons had he.
Distressed was I.
Distressed was I. No. Naomi.
Here's another one. So many dynamos. That's you guys. So many dynamos in this room.
Yeah.
That's a good palindrome. Hey, today's James Brown's birthday, by the way.
Well, that was just a quick turn left.
That's something, right?
So James Brown.
Godfather of Soul.
Yeah.
It's also Machiavelli's birthday.
Who was he again?
Machiavelli.
Yeah.
Niccolo Machiavelli, Florentine, politician that wrote The Prince, and so many, gangsters and politicians and businessmen try and follow this. It's basically nobody? No?
I recognize the name.
The idea is that as long as you are successful by any means necessary, it doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Good, bad, ugly.
I don't agree with that.
No, and neither do I. It's
very.
I know the Machiavellian twist. That's it.
Which is
Okay.
a dance
It's
move.
a dance move.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is
Wha-
it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is that something you do at weddings, or
I mean,
can we hire you for that?
maybe.
Do the owners know about
Oh
this?
my god. You got me there.
They do now.
All right, I'm gonna end with a quote by Will Rogers. The problem in America isn't so much what people don't know. The problem is what people think they know that just ain't so.
Amen.
Thank you to Denny & Company LLP, our beautiful sponsor, certified public accountants. They make your life less taxing. Reach out to Matt Denny for all your accounting needs at dennyllp.com or by calling 661-286-8860. And the law offices of Lou Espin, when experience counts. Count on
And he's got
experience.
counting the
You
experience.
almost got it that time. espinlaw.com. And always, I'd like to thank Jerry and Carl, the owners, and Patty, our beautiful engineer.